Yaasmyn Fula, October 9, 1977, November 10, 1996, better known by his stage name Yaki Kadafi, was an American rapper and a founding member of the hip-hop group Outlawz. He was shot and killed on November 10, 1996. He was shot between the eyes at point-blank range in a dispute over money. He was killed by the cousin of former Outlaw member Napoleon. Kadafi was found slumped in a stairwell of the housing project at 3:30 a.m. with a bullet wound to his head. He was found with his bulletproof vest still on him. They say that the love of a mother towards her child is incomparable to any other, and when it comes to the tale of the life and death of Yaki Kadafi, we simply cannot argue with this statement. Despite the fact that it happened 26 years ago, the trauma and the sadness have never abandoned the soul of Kadafi's mother, Yaasmyn Fula. Despite being left without a true father figure during his life, as a result, Yaasmyn Fula had a reason to be thrilled about his parents' involvement in the organization. Yaasmyn and Afeni Shakur, the mother of the great Tupac Shakur, were close friends from their BPP days, which meant that Yaki and Pac were actually godbrothers. Eventually, they became friends and formed one of the greatest hip-hop groups in history, the Outlawz. Of course, part of the group was also Napoleon, who has a special role in this tale. It never happened, sadly. Kadafi was shot and killed about 2 months later in Orange, New Jersey, aged only 19 years of age. His killer was the cousin of Muta Beale, Napoleon Roddy Beale. This is where we come to the role of Napoleon. He was the one who introduced the pair, who turned out to be good friends and spent lots of time together. The last time they were together was precisely on the 10th of November, 1996. Napoleon recalls that they had a common addiction to drugs and had probably once again been on some substances that night. The 16-year-old Roddy shot Kadafi in the head, who died on the spot. Fula, who lived in Montclair, NJ, was shot once in the head and was found slumped in the third-floor hallway of an apartment building at 325 Mechanic Saint early morning on 10th of November 1996. Officers found Kadafi at 3:48 a.m. after receiving a report of a shooting. Napoleon wasn't in town during the shooting and was distraught upon hearing the news. He flew over instantly to Jersey and found his cousin in tears, claiming that it was an accident. The rapper told him to turn himself over to the police, which is actually what happened. Roddy would eventually serve 7 or 8 years, whilst Napoleon would state that despite being extremely sad about Kadafi's death, he still believed it was accidental. Naturally, there was one person who wasn't buying it and who still hasn't forgotten about the tragic incident, Yaasmyn Fula, Kadafi's mother. She never believed in the alibi of the shooting being incidental and has even declared war on Napoleon, who had continuously voiced support for his cousin. This is when the penny dropped. Evidently, the wound is still fresh in Yaasmyn's heart, and towards the end of 2021, she came out with a detailed breakdown of the entire crime, presenting documents, police reports, etc., in order to prove that the murder was far from a fluke. It was actually quite well planned. 508. My son was murdered 25 years ago by Rashad Clark. For 25 years, I have screamed out this was murder and carried the pain and loss of both Tupac and Kadafi. Made worse by lies, this was an accident, threats and intimidation of witnesses, and ultimate betrayal by Muta Beale, who has acted as hype man and defender of his cousin. I have never blamed Muta for the murder. I have definitely blamed him for providing a forum for lies to propagate over the years and not seeking truth despite the pain, and for continuing to exploit both Kadafi and Tupac's death in interviews and pathetic displays of a crow eating off the carcass of dead people. Witnesses were afraid to testify, so 16-year-old Rashad was only given a 4-year sentence. Upon his release, he murdered another youth and presently incarcerated in Virginia. A summary of police reports, medical reports, murderer's statement is attached. I am gathering the official reports to release to the public. The murderer phoned ahead, said he was coming but don't tell. Kadafi had weeks before threatened to kill Kadafi, according to police witness accounts, because Kadafi thought he was too big, because he was with Tupac. Additionally, during the murderer's confession, he was asked by police if he knew Yaki Kadafi had on a bulletproof vest. He answered yes. Kadafi was shot in the right eye. Literally, his brains were blown out. Kadafi's mom said Napoleon's cousin and someone else murdered Kadafi. The other guy had him in a chokehold when his cousin shot him. The police report says the same thing, but that they were playing. Kadafi's mom said Napoleon's family threatened witnesses. His girlfriend, whose apartment this was at, in the hallway. Kadafi had been wearing body armor, but Napoleon suggested they were committing a lot of crimes in New Jersey. That's plausible because I doubt they left LA with much money if Tupac was nearly broke too from court cases. Kadafi said in Las Vegas he thought he would be dead soon. So it seems like he was paranoid, but the reasons for it depend on what you want to believe. Even if Kadafi was murdered, you could believe it was over dumb shit, but it's too convenient for people who killed Tupac. I only watch videos from Bombast if it seems like Reggie will be getting lies mixed up or incriminating himself, which he does a lot. Lately, he did a video on this and said, when he talked to Napoleon about this, and Napoleon was supposed to be in Atlanta. Are you too close or something? To me, this is a huge red flag. For anyone who has read the book, does Kadafi's mom offer anything connecting his death to the Tupac murder, or simply that it was intentional? Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your opinion in the comments.